Let's check out Honda's new flagship sports touring machine, the VFR1200F. Recently, at Honda Canada's official press introduction down in Savannah, Georgia, representatives of Big Red told the attending media that Honda wanted to re-establish itself as the industry leader in technology and development by creating a motorcycle that would bring all the very latest Honda technology together under one fairing. Or in the case of the new VFR1200F, two fairings. For example, the VFR1200F sports a totally new 1,237cc fuel-injected V4 that sports trick stuff like throttle-by-wire technology that also controls a valve-equipped muffler. There's also a seamless integrated shaft drive system out back, while those ferocious 6-piston calipers that make up part of the combined ABS braking system up front will cause your eyes to bulge under hard braking. Sampling the VFR1200F for us this week is a senior editor with Inside Motorcycles magazine, Colin Fraser.
Well, I'm not quite sure where to start because, I don't know, Honda, the designers, the engineers, they didn't miss a thing. This thing is all new, all the way from the ground up.
V4 has been a signature power plant for a long time with Honda, and argument that the history of motorcycles is the history of very small and powerful engines with machinery built around them. And I think there was really a choice for Honda to either get out of the V4 game or step up the V4 game. And I think everybody who's an enthusiast, and particularly fans of the sport, really love this new motorcycle.
It's a gorgeous engine. Let's spend a little bit of time talking about it because it's got a very unique feel and a very unique sound, and boy does it ever rev.
What you have is sort of a mixture of what was great about V4s as we remember them, plus another step ahead in terms of technology. And also, we're no longer restricted to any specific displacement because it's not a racing platform. The great thing about displacement, mid-range and torque, V configuration engines are great for mid-range and torque, so you have a motorcycle that's just monstrous in terms of its power delivery. It's got a signature sound, and Honda made a real effort to have that. I mean, when you go to the bike show and they're offering to let you hear the motorcycle, I think that's a tip-off that an effort was made.
Yep.
You look at the exhaust system, that's not just a pipe attached to the engine. A lot of work went into that. Of course, we're in an era of electronic controls, multi-stage valves in the exhaust and the induction, and different fuel injection systems. So there's a lot of technology that can be utilized. The trick is not to lose the flavor, the personality of the engine in the midst of all that technology.
Right. So, describe the riding experience. You looked to be having a lot of fun, and I know you were riding pretty aggressively.
Well, it's a bike for people who have experienced motorcycling. We're not recommending this to first-time buyers. Get out and learn the deal on a 1200cc V4.
Right.
But a person with experience who's comfortable, and that means being cautious when you have that kind of performance. It's a pleasure, and it's not just a pleasure. We've kind of already overstated how fast this thing is, how much mid-range it has. It's how sophisticated it is. It's how controlled it is. It's how nice it is to utilize its abilities. And God is in the details in these things. One little thing that isn't just right in this kind of performance machine really diminishes the package. And this is very polished, and it's quite different in a lot of ways. And of course, something we haven't even touched on yet is shaft drive. Typically, performance motorcycles can't have shaft drive because there's too many compromises in terms of chassis geometry. This shaft drive, the way they've utilized it inside the swing arm, and the way the splines slide so you don't change the geometry as the bike travels through its suspension, it's not sexy, but it's crucial in terms of making this bike work as a sports motorcycle. You can ride it aggressively in the corners, and you basically don't notice its shaft drive, which is absolutely remarkable.
Right. Seamless, I think, is a key word here, because you really feel like every single piece on this bike was purpose-built to fit this machine, and it flows. The bodywork, the dual layering of the bodywork, the console, everything just sort of feels one of a piece.
We've seen some pretty good air management lately, particularly on big sports tours, and although this could be a sports tour, it's a little more performance oriented, and the air management is impressive on this. The running gear, we haven't even talked about, the linked brakes and whatnot. This thing has ferocious brakes, and just amazing for a bike of this size and weight how aggressively you can ride it. So it's sort of It's a stepping stone motorcycle between the pure sport racetrack bike and your luxury GT, sporty but comfort, but I think this bike is a little bit more towards the performance, a little bit less comfort, which is not to say it's not comfortable, but it's set up to be ridden very aggressively.
So Colin, obviously everybody at home is going to say, what is the one lasting impression? What's the big punch here? What's going to stay with you as you get on the plane later today?
It's the sophisticated performance. It's a fit and finish, polished, high-end, meant for the discriminating user motorcycle, but it still has a gigantic kick in the ass.
Well done. Thanks very much for riding it for us, Colin. That's a great job.
It's fun.
Yeah, you look like you're having fun.